What we want to do is just plant your hands right in front of you, kick up, maintain a nice neutral spine, and then press down and press up. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do a push-up, and for those of you that are really adventurous and would like to push yourself a little bit harder, how to do a handstand push-up. With regard to the push-up and the handstand push-up, these are terrific exercises that will help to strengthen your core, your chest, your shoulders, and also your arms. Specifically, it is going to help strengthen your pectoralis major, your anterior deltoids, and your triceps. Those are the three main muscle groups that we are going to be using when we do the push-up. One of the reasons why these exercises are so great is also because you require absolutely no equipment whatsoever. So if you have absolutely no equipment available, all you have is your own body, that is perfect, because all you need is your body to be able to do all of these exercises. With regard to the progressions, there are going to be 10 different progressions that I'm going to be taking you through, and I'm going to be going in order from the easiest to the most difficult. So wherever your starting point is, there is going to be one of the progressions for you. Find the progression that is easy enough that you are able to do it, but is also difficult enough that is a little bit challenging for you. If you can do it without any level of difficulty whatsoever, then move on to the next exercise. If you're finding that one of the progressions is too difficult that you cannot complete it with proper form, then regress and go back one progression. You should be able to find it challenging but doable. If you cannot maintain perfect form throughout the exercise, then it's too challenging of a progression. Go back one regression and then eventually just build up to the point. But that's pretty much it for the little explanation ahead of it. Now let's just go ahead and get started with the actual progressions. This first progression is going to be the scapula protraction push-up against the wall. With regard to the scapula is this bone right in the back, your shoulder blade bone. And with regard to this bone right over here, a lot of people are very limited in their movement of the scapula. So this exercise is going to help mobilize the scapula. What we want to do is some frontalization and sagittalization of the actual scapula. What I mean by that, what you are going to do is you want to get into a push-up position against the wall. I don't have the wall right in front of me, but I'm going to be using this. What you want to do, put your hands right up against the wall, and all we are going to do, maintaining a neutral spine, so from your ear, shoulder, hip, and your ankle, you want one straight line, and all you're going to do is try to cave into your shoulders as much as possible. This is going to be sagittalization of the scapula, and then you are going to press away as much as possible, and this is going to be frontalization of the scapula. So you're going into sagittalization by trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together as much as possible, and then frontalization by pushing your palms away from your body and trying to separate your scapula as much as possible. That is the first progression, and with regard to the scapula protraction push-up, this exercise can be applied to all of the different progressions that I'm going to be demonstrating for you, so I'm not going to be reiterating it because it's going to get very redundant if I show you a scapula protraction push-up in all of these different progressions. But just know that for every single one of the progressions, you can do the scapula progression as a way to mobilize the scapula. Now that we did that, the second progression, this is going to be the wall push-up. For the wall push-up, you're in the exact same position as the scapula protraction push-up. The only difference is this one, you are actually doing the push-up movement. So you're going to be not only pressing with your shoulders, but you're also going to be moving your arms as well. For this one, same thing. You want to maintain a nice neutral spine. So ear, shoulder, your hip bone, and also your ankle should all be in one straight line. You want to tuck in your chin. And all you want to do for this is lower yourself toward the wall and then press back up. Of the actual push-up progressions, this is going to be the easiest one. So even if you're unable to do a push-up, everybody can pretty much do this exercise. That is the second progression. The third progression is going to be the incline push-up. For the incline push-up, it's going to be the incline push-up above 45 degrees. So you want to find a surface that allows you to be able to do a push-up so that your body is above 45 degrees, because that is going to be the easiest. I'm going to be using this right over here, but you could use whatever you want. You could use a high chair. If you do have a squat rack available, you could also lower the arms of the squat rack. You could also use a barbell. With the barbell, let's say you're doing a Smith machine or just a regular squat rack, you could start with the bar right in front and then slowly lower it one peg at a time until eventually you are at that 45-degree angle. But this is the 45-degree push-up. Exact same thing. Chin is tucked in, neutral spine, so ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle are in line. And what we are doing for this one, you're going to push and then press out. Same thing that we did with the wall push-up. The only difference is now it's getting a little bit more steep, and the more steep we get, the more difficult it is going to be. Now that we did the wall push-up, it is going to be time for progression number 4. Progression number 4 is going to be the kneeling push-up. For the kneeling push-up, same thing. You want your ear, your shoulder, your hip, and your knee all to be in one straight line. So we're just going to go ahead and get set up. And what you want to do is just lower yourself down to the ground and come back up. That is the 4th progression. Next, we are going to do the incline push-up below 45 degrees. This is the 5th progression, and this is the push-up below 45 degrees. As we get closer to the ground, it is going to get a lot more difficult. So with this one over here, we're doing the exact same thing. Ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle in one straight line. Keep the chin tucked in. And what we want to do is just lower ourselves toward the bench and press back up. And that is progression number 5, the incline push-up below 45 degrees. Next is the 6th progression, and this is the actual push-up itself. So for the actual push-up, you're in a push-up position, your feet are on the ground, one straight line from your ear, shoulder, hip to ankle. We want to keep the chin tucked in, core nice and stable, and we are going to lower all the way down to the ground and press up. And that is the push-up. Next progression, we are going to do the decline push-up, or the feet elevated push-up. For the feet elevated push-up, this is going to be even more difficult because we're using a lot more shoulders. What we want to do, same thing, ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle, all in one straight line. Keep the back nice and straight, chin tucked in. We're going to push down, press back up. And that is the decline push-up, or the feet elevated push-up. Next, we are going to do the pike push-up. For progression number 8, the pike push-up, what we want to do is we are going to be getting our body into the shape of a V. So what you want to do is get your feet settled nicely. And for this one over here, we want to hinge from the hips as far as possible without rounding our spine. So what you can do is just start out nice and in a nice wide position and gradually walk your hands toward your feet until you can no longer maintain a neutral spine. Once you can no longer maintain a neutral spine, that's going to be your starting position. And what you want to do from this one is lower your head until it touches the ground. Come back up. And that is progression number 8, the pike push-up. Progression number 9 is going to be the feet elevated pike push-up. So it's the exact same thing, only we are going to have our feet elevated on a bench. Let's go ahead and try it out. So we're going to get our feet on the bench, walk our hands until we can no longer maintain a neutral spine, press down, and press up. And that is the feet elevated pike push-up. And now the final progression, progression number 10, we are going to do the handstand push-up against the wall. All right, for the handstand push-up against the wall, everything is the exact same thing. We want to keep the ear, shoulder, hip, and ankle all in one straight line. We want to tighten our core, maintain retroversion of the pelvis, and we want the arms straight up overhead. What we're going to do for this one over here, if you can kick yourself up. There's 2 ways that we could do this. We could kick ourselves up, or we could walk up the wall. Walking up the wall, you would be facing with your torso facing toward the wall, and then just gradually kind of just walk yourself up. And then personally, the way that I like to do it, just because it's a lot easier, is to just kick yourself up. And I'm going to demonstrate that way, but do whichever one is a lot easier for you and makes you feel more comfortable. For this method, what we want to do is just plant your hands right in front of you, kick up, maintain a nice neutral spine, and then press down and press up. And that is the handstand push-up. And those are your 10 different push progressions for all levels from beginner to advanced. So if you're currently unable to do a push-up, find the progression that is the easiest for you to do and then gradually work up to it. With regard to these different progressions, there are also different modifications that you can make. One is going to be foot position, and the other is going to be hand position. When it comes to the feet and hands, the more narrow your feet are, the more core stabilization going to be required, whereas the wider your stance, the less core stabilization required because you're going to be more stable. So within each of these progressions, if you want to make it more difficult, instead of going from one progression to the next, you could stick on the same progression and just modify the foot position. So you could do 1 week with the feet wide, 1 week middle, and then 1 week close together. The other thing is going to be the hand position. With regard to the hand position, when we go more into abduction, so bringing the arms out to the side, it is going to be more pecs and shoulders. When we bring it closer to the inside, it's going to be a little bit more arms. And then if we put our hands together, it's going to be a lot more arms. So depending on where your weakness is, if you're currently unable to do a push-up because your chest and shoulders are weak, then going into more of an abducted position is going to be better for you. Whereas if the reason that you are not able to do a push-up is because your limiting factor is your triceps are too weak, then doing a narrow grip would be a lot better for you, as it will help to strengthen your triceps. But with those different progressions, you can essentially do 60 different types of push-ups. You could do 3 different positions with the feet, 3 different positions with the hands, and then those are going to give you 6 different variations. 6 variations times the 10 that I just showed you gives you 60 different variations. So you can incorporate those into your actual training program, and within a few months, you should be able to do a push-up if you follow these progressions properly and you stick to the routine regularly. But that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that like button so I know to make more of these types of videos in the future. And if you're either new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, as I will be uploading new videos every single day. That's it for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you again tomorrow.